Hello there and welcome fellow string slingers to another episode of Solos for Beginners. 10 videos dedicated to 10 solos that are dedicated to parting the clouds and allowing you to graze upon the greener pastures of lead guitardom. Today we're going to learn the solo from Smells Like Teen Spirit by, of course, Nirvana. Now this solo is very easy on the fingers, but very high on the attitude. So make sure that once you're confident with this material that you go back over it and start adding your own expression and your own vibe and your own nuance. We're going to start this solo off with this little part, in which we're going to slide up to the 10th fret of the D string, 8 and 10 on the G string, then slide down and then hit the 6 on the D string. This slide down doesn't really necessarily have to go into any specific note, it's just a character driven thing. So now we got this little bit to contend with, in which we're going to hit the 8 on the G string twice, except the second time we hit it, we're going to do a full tone bend. Put it back where it belongs, 6, slide to 5, and then this little bit, which is going to be simple enough. That's just 6 and 5 on the G string, and then 8, 6 on the D string. Now we're going to go up and hit the 8th fret on the D string twice, but the second time we're going to hit it, we're going to bend it. But we're going to bend it to a note that doesn't necessarily exist, a note that hides between the frets. Kind of a 3/4 tone bend. We're actually going to take it out of key a bit and into a little note that lives between the tritone and the 5th. And so once we're done with that, we put it back where it belongs, pull off to 6, slide down to 5. So that whole first part slowly and with some tabs. And then finally we have this. Which simply is on the D string going 6 5 6 5 6 5 6 5 5 3 with a slide, and we just repeat that phrase 4 times. So I've talked about this in another video where when I want to get a lot of feedback and sustain, but I want to be able to control the notation and not have just every string ringing out giving me too much chaos. With my picking hand, I flick my pick, which in this case is just a coin, in between my forefinger and middle fingers, so I've got my forefinger and thumb free, and either side of the string I want to sing out, I mute. So in this case the A and the G string, just by simply placing my thumb and forefinger on them, allowing me to shake the D string there and get a fair amount of sustain out of it. So let's go over that whole solo again slowly and with some tabs. There we go everybody, the solo from Smells Like Teen Spirit. Now, although this is an easy solo to learn, there is a lot that you can and should take from it. First and foremost, attitude. And now when I talk about attitude, I don't mean, you know, finger at the man, packageable and marketable little rebellious, angsty attitude.
This person has a nose ring and spaces, thus they are marketed as rebellious.
No, I don't mean attitude like this. When I talk about attitude, I'm talking about the emotional and artistic intent that you pour into a piece of music that you want the listener to get out of it. And the nuances of exactly how you play a piece of music are going to have a massive impact on the outcome, particularly with a simple solo. particularly with a simple solo. And you won't necessarily develop this by copying how Kurt Cobain does this solo, or how anybody does any solo for that matter, but instead by trying to tap into what it is that you want to convey. And it's amazing how just putting yourself in a certain mind space before, say, recording or performing can actually get this across to the listener. Secondly, it shows the value of bringing vocal melodies into the realm of solos, because this whole solo is really just the verse vocal melody. And by doing this, it's glued the song together really well and given it one cohesive voice across the whole tune, as if it's one massive wall with one piece of graffiti on it. So keep these things in mind for when you're playing this solo and other solos, but mostly keep them in mind for when you are writing your own solos and making your own music. Thank you everybody for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, click like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more guitar-based misbehavior, and of course check out the other 9 videos in this series. Brandon Valentine here. See you guys next time.